How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka after a Saw review video for today. For this new aka after a Saw review video for today, this is going to be my review on a film that came out just a few days ago in the US. Well, this film doesn't come out till this Friday in the UK, but there was preview screens for this film for the weekend, which this film was released yesterday, and this was also playing today. So I did see this movie today as a preview screening, and so I'm here to give you guys my personal thoughts on what I just seen today as a preview screening. Since this movie doesn't come out till this Friday in the UK. But anyway, today's review is going to be my review on the 2022 live action computer animated musical family fantasy comedy film based on the children's book of the same name, and that movie is Lyle, Crocodile. Now, this is directed by Will Speck and Josh Gordon, who made Blades of Glory and Office Christmas Party. And the story of the film is that we follow this family known as the Prime family, which consists of course, a mother and father who are played by Constance and Scott McNairy, named Katie and Joseph. And they have a son named Josh, played by Winslow Fegley. And they just recently moved to New York. And for Josh himself, he's struggling to basically live his new life in New York with his family in their new home. And he's also struggling in school, because he's a new kid in school and he doesn't have any friends whatsoever, and because he's got this anxiety problem. And what ends up happening is that while he's in his new home, he finds something very strange in this attic, and what he ends up finding in this attic is that he comes across this singing crocodile named Lyle, voiced by Shawn Mendes, who of course does sing. He doesn't talk while he's not singing, he just mostly sings any kind of song and whatever comes to his mind. And so for both him and Lyle, so for both of these characters, we see them becoming best friends. And what ends up happening is that this evil neighbor named Mr. Grump, played by Gelman, whatever you pronounce his name, basically is threatening Lyle's existence, like he just wants to get rid of him. And so it's basically, of course, to the Prime family, as well as with Lyle's owner, who's a magician named Hector, played by Javier Bardem. They all have to band together to show the world that anyone can come from unexpected places. So that's pretty much the story of Lyle, Crocodile. Now, for myself, when I'm going into this movie, honestly, I did not know what to expect from this one whatsoever. This one just kind of popped out of nowhere for me, at random, really. Because I didn't hear anything about this film at first when this film was getting made whatsoever. I didn't hear anything about that, because this one just kind of popped out of nowhere for me. And I didn't even notice the trailers drop by all over the internet, but once I did see the trailers for this film when this film was coming out, I just didn't even know what to expect from this movie after watching the trailers, because to me the trailers didn't look all amazing or anything. It didn't look interesting. I wouldn't say the trailers were awful. Again, I just didn't even know what this one was going to be like for me, just because to me this one just kind of looked like another generic kids film that's based off a property. And since this movie is based off a property, it's actually, and like I said, since this movie is based off a property, it's based off a book of the same name, which I've never read the book before. I've never even read it when I was a kid growing up, because I was never introduced to Lyle Crocodile as a kid. But once I did, after see the trailers for this film, I was just researching who was involved with this film. Like, you've got some talented people in this film. Like, you've got Oscar winner Javier Bardem, I think he's a great actor. Constance, I think she's talented. Winslow Fegley, I think he's a talented child actor. And Shawn Mendes, who of course voices Lyle in this film. I was pretty interested in seeing I was kind of curious to see what these people can do for this movie. And for the directors, for these two directors who directed this film, Speck and Gordon, I was kind of curious to see what they can do for this. I was curious to see what they were going to do for this movie. And I haven't seen all their works. They barely made some movies. I've only seen just one of their films, which is Blades of Glory, which I think is a decent movie. But I haven't seen... I know they made another one, which I've heard, but I've never watched, called Office Christmas Party, though. But like I said, this film did have a few preview screenings in my area, which was released yesterday and today on Sunday. So I went to see this today on the 9th of October, and there wasn't that many people in my screening. Well, there was a few parents and children in my screening, but just again, there was not a whole lot of people, though. But after walking out of this one, this surprisingly wasn't bad, because I went in with low expectations, thinking it was just going to be even male, just not great. But this one was surprisingly pretty good. I quite surprisingly enjoyed this one. This is definitely a surprisingly good kids film here. Now, obviously, this movie isn't 100% perfect or anything like that, because I do have a few flaws with this one, but the things I did like in this movie were the acting. Javier Bardem, I thought he was really good in this movie as Hector the Magician, and I like what he was given for this character. He's full of energy, he has so much charisma, and he's really charismatic in the film. And for having all of that given to his character, I thought worked really well for making him really likable and entertaining. And what really surprised me with Javier Bardem in this movie is that he can really sing in this movie, which I didn't even know he can do that. But after seeing him singing in this movie, I was like, this guy should be cast in a future musical here, because he's really, really good at singing here. And as for other actors in the film, you got Constance who plays Katie. I thought she was pretty good in the movie, and she also does sing too in the film, and she was also pretty good at singing in the movie. And you also have Scott McNairy, who plays Joseph. I thought he was pretty solid in the film. Brett Gelman, who plays Mr. Grum, the evil neighbor. He was pretty solid in the film. And for what he was given for this character, it was pretty much generically what you expect from this kind of character, because he's really evil. He just doesn't like, he just despises some people, even despises the family. He even won't let anyone go near his cat or anything like that. And what he wants to do to Lyle is pretty much what you expect, really, for what, it's just pretty much kind of generic, really, what you expect, what you know you're gonna do, really. And as for the actors in the film, you got Winslow Fegley, who plays Josh. I thought he was pretty solid in the film. And Shawn Mendes, who of course voices Lyle in the film, he was really good in this movie. But of course, this character doesn't talk at all outside singing form. But when we do see him singing, it's really fun. It's really good to watch, because Shawn Mendes is a talented singer, and for him singing and for his singing voice coming out as some CGI crocodile, I thought was really cute. And speaking of the crocodile, since he is CGI, it is. You obviously know he is going to be CGI, but still though, the whole look for this crocodile, I think he is really cute. And speaking of CGI, there are some noticeable CGI in the film for like other animals in the film, which I already knew that was going to happen after I saw the whole look of Lyle himself, and when I saw the trailers for this film. And the songs in the film, I really enjoyed the songs. There was a few joyful songs I really liked in the film. While there are a few songs in the film I didn't find super memorable or anything like that, but still though, this movie has some good songs, and the writing for the songs I thought was pretty good, because the people who wrote the songs did do The Greatest Showman, which I really enjoyed that film, even though critics were kind of mixed on it. And they also did songs for Dear Evan Hansen, the movie, even though I haven't seen the stage play for that, but even though I can't comment about that, but for the movie itself, for that movie, let's just not talk about that. And the plot for the film, it's pretty predictable, really, for this kind of film. Like when we see a character interact with something strange, and we see them going on this adventure, and then of course something evil is about to happen to them, and have to show the whole world or something like that. And it's just pretty much, it was just obviously what you knew, what you were going to expect, really. And even for when it gets to its ending climax, I can already tell what was going to happen. When it was about to happen, I can already see it coming from a mile away. And I can definitely won't say that the story is awful. It was just pretty much predictable, really, for a kid's film like this one. And the writing of the film, while the writing isn't great, I wouldn't say it's awful. I would say it's pretty much a bit cheesy for like some of the jokes in the film, since most of the jokes in this film is mostly set towards like young children. Like there's burp jokes, there's fart jokes, and some other like jokes that's set towards young children. Well, there were a few of the jokes in this film, I thought a few of them did land for me, while there's a few didn't really land for me whatsoever. And for the writing of the film, for like the family of the film, I thought was really strong when we do see them having a strong relationship with Lyle in the film, because I thought it was really cute and really strong, and it really did kind of get me invested for the characters in the film, and I really like that. But in the end, guys, Lyle Crocodile, this was surprisingly a good watch, yeah, because again, I went in with low expectations thinking it was going to be just pretty decent or just okay, but no, this one was surprisingly good. Well, again, this isn't perfect or anything like that, because again, the plot is predictable, the writing isn't great, but I did like for like the relationship with the family, and there was a few chuckle-worthy moments, while a few jokes didn't land for me, and the CGI is pretty noticeable, and again, it has good performances and it has some good songs, while a few songs I wouldn't find super memorable or anything like that. But if you're a fan of the book, or you're a fan of the cast, or you're a fan like family musicals, this one will definitely be a good popcorn treat for you. And if you have kids, I can see kids will definitely have a good time with this one. And adults, they may be like myself, or maybe like the children though. So that's pretty much all to say about Lyle Crocodile. I'm gonna give Lyle Crocodile 3.5 out of 5. As I said before, this is definitely not a perfect family film, because this one does have a few flaws to it, but this one I still managed to have an enjoyable time with this one, despite its flaws. And like I said, I can definitely see that young children will definitely have an absolute blast with this one, mostly due to the songs and the silly jokes. And for adults, they may be like myself, just having an enjoyable time with this one. Well, I could see some being like with the children, just having a blast with this one, though. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on Lyle Crocodile. Let me know what you think of this brand new release. If you've seen this already, if you just recently checked out this film. Did you have a joyful time with this, or was this not really a popcorn treat? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.